Welcome to STL City Showdown. I'm AJ and I'm joined with Steve. This is actually finally a different game. And I think to just start this off, what we're going to do is our first game, which is 3 words. Steve, the honors.
Man. All right. So in this game, what we do is you guys can play along at home. You can agree with us, disagree with us, let us know either way. But we think of 3 different ways to describe this game with one word, then we just kind of justify it. So my first word, and I joked with AJ before we started recording, is in the second half, Taylor Twellman started describing the first half with this word. And so I was like, well, I'm going to use it anyway. And that's anemic. First half of this game was just, it looked like STL City for the rest this whole season. It was an encapsulation of this entire season. It was slow. We kept losing the ball. I think, AJ, you kept commenting like, we cannot keep the ball. It felt like the first 10 minutes horrible. We were in their final third, maybe once. So my first word is anemic. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great choice of word. Actually, I was kind of embarrassed. So my significant other would watch games with me, especially this year with her best friend. And this was the first time she messaged me and she's like, hey, can I be on the MLS season pass at the same time? And she's home alone with her kid. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's actually watching City Soccer.
Yeah. Yes,
and
please.
Then this is the product that she literally had to watch. That first half, that was super anemic. I'm like, geez, you got that girl who loves watching sports. She's a really big NBA fan and she's now watching soccer, and this is what she watches on her own. Like, she actually decided to watch this. And my first word, I'm going to transition here, which I'm so glad you picked anemic as your first word, is my first word is change. I was actually super excited to see that there was some kind of change. This was literally like, how many times have we said this so far this season? We're like, just do something different. Like anything. I don't care what you do. Like, change up the players, change up the formation, change up something. What was it, like a couple games ago when he finally started bringing out Celio and more of an offensive minded, like aka not 5 center backs.
Yeah, we actually had a lineup with scoring.
Yeah. And it was a lot better, wasn't it? And then
it was fun to watch.
Today, having the 4-back system, it was a 4-4-2, was so much more fun to watch. It was exciting. I get it. We were more defensively vulnerable, but honestly, we did pretty good, except for maybe a few little hiccups. We really didn't need 3 center backs out there.
No.
So that's what I would say, change. What about you for your second word?
Yeah, my second word is goals. I think with that second goal we gave up, our goal differential is back to -1, but we actually got our goal differential back to 0. Yeah, when we up 2-1, it was actually, it got up to 0. And it was nice seeing that goal by Toyshirt in the first half, or in the second half. That was really, really, that was a good setup. That was a good cross in, and then, of course, an amazing shot. And then that second goal where we just flooded the zone and it wound up being a own goal anyway. But it was exciting to see. Like, I think that was one thing that this team doesn't have a lot right now. It's excitement, and it's a shame it ended the way it did, but we at least had something over 90 minutes to cheer about. Soccer is meant to cheer for goals, and we actually had 2 of them. Real quick, part of this team has now scored 7 goals throughout this season. And an interesting fact is 5 of our goals have come in the LA regional area this year in 2 games. 5 of our goals, of our 7 we scored the entire game, our season, have come from one region of the country. So that's my second word, is goals.
I'm going to piggyback off of you. You mentioned Toyshirt. I'm going to say my second word is smooth. That was true finishing. The way he settled the ball and then struck it with it was his left foot, was absolutely smooth. It was silky smooth, beautiful. It's something that we have not seen all season long. And it's like, finally we saw something. And part of that was the fact that we changed and we started thinking more offensive. Ultimately, I think, led to this goal because we weren't getting out of our own zone. I mean, even Taylor Twellman and whatever the other announcer was mentioning is that, yeah, we were doing great absorbing all this pressure, but then what did we do with it? We had nobody that was forward. maybe Kloss, and that's about it. So that was my second word. What was your third word? Your third and final.
My third and final is a question, actually. And that question is, will we ever win again? And I am thinking about that scene from Ted Lasso where Rebecca is so frustrated that they have like 7 draws in a row that she has Ted come in and she's like, will we ever effing win another game? And I just don't feel like, I don't know when this is ever going to happen again. We didn't win the entire month of April. The entire month of April, we never saw a win. And next week we have Seattle. In Seattle. And I don't know if we're going to start off May with a win. So wins is a word for me. Is my word. That's my second word. Or my last word. What about you?
Mine is simply 2 letters. O-H-O. And not like the O, like exciting O. It's more like, ugh. Like, ugh. The second Celio passed backwards right to the LAFC player. I was like, ugh. I was like, come on. Morales, when he got his second yellow card, which you have to know that when you're running behind somebody and you're tugging on their shoulder, you're going to get called for yellow and you're already on a yellow. Like, come on. It's really frustrating. But overall, I guess I'm just a little bit excited because there was some kind of change. And what I'm really hoping for, you want to know what I'm hoping for, Steve?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Oh, good. What I'm really hoping for is that this actually carries forward and Olaf and the crew says, hey, maybe a 4-4-2 is what we should actually be doing, with some rare exceptions. Like if we had the lead, let's say we had a 1-0 lead and then at halftime we changed to a 3-back system, fine. I get it, right? But I think we should be coming out in a 4-4-2. That's my thought, and that's what I am hoping for. Okay, Steve. We got our second game. You ready for this?
Oh, I was born ready, boy.
Yeah, especially as a teacher, you're going to love this. And you've done this before. It is grades. So just like your students, let's grade this team. I'm going to let you start because I know we're both going to have, for letter A, it's going to be the same person.
My letter A is about 6'6" tall and is the only person on our team that can apparently save a penalty kick, and that is Ben Lunt. Ben Lunt has 7 games now. You realize we haven't had Berkey in 7 games?
I know.
He has only given up, maybe 3 goals? And this has been amazing. And we are so damn lucky to have this guy. And just watching him out there, watching him control the team, watching him stop kicks. He's my A. What about you?
Yeah, of course he's my A. I think he's most people say. Honestly, he is very, very serviceable as a goalkeeper in the MLS. Now, there's no doubt, watching this game, I could see that there's times where Berkey would have done things better. Like, for instance, distributing ball accuracy, I feel like Berkey takes the cake on that. Like, there's no difference there. When it comes to penalty kicks, basically anybody, you're better than Berkey, unfortunately. Everybody is better than Berkey. He's just not great at it, and that's okay. When it comes to a lot of the goal saves, positioning, I think Berkey is still better. There's no doubt that he's still a top-tier goalkeeper, but Lunt is very, very serviceable, and he's definitely shown that, holy crap, like even as a quote-unquote backup, he still probably beats a lot of other goalkeepers in MLS.
Yeah. I guarantee you that LAFC would rather have Berkey than the guy they have. I guarantee you that Sporting would love to have, not Berkey, but Lunt. I guarantee you that Sporting would love to have Lunt right now. It's like we're the Cardinals from the 90s where we just had great pitchers. Like we just had all these pitchers. It's like defense and goalkeeping is the one area that we're really good on. But yeah, Lunt for sure is a solid A for me for this game. Oh, and by the way, the majority of St. Louis City fans agree on the STL City app for the man of the match. Ben Lunt got what percentage? Unless you do know what percentage Lunt got for the man of the match.
I'm guessing probably like 85%.
It was actually 87%. You got 87%.
Oh,
and
yes.
Okay, for my B, who do you think got the next closest at 10%? It's not fair because you don't know everyone that was on there probably, but.
Well, I'm going to guess because my B, and I'm going to kind of say it, is Toy Shirt.
Yep.
Am I right?
Yep. He
Yeah.
got 10% of the vote. And the next closest one after that was 1% with Baumgartel. Who's that one guy that's like, Baumgartel's my man of the match? Like, hey, doofus, don't do that. Don't do that. You know what it was? It was probably like a false click because on that app, you get like one shot to do it.
Yep.
And you're like, no, I don't want Baumgartel. No. And it's too late because it's already done. So, yeah.
Who's the fourth on the list? Who was the fourth?
Giannis Horn.
Yeah.
He got 0%. Like,
Come on.
nobody was fooled with
At
Giannis
least
Horn
put
being on
Hartle
there.
on there. Come on. At least put Hartle on there. They're probably just trying not to split the vote. Come on.
Yep.
Well, that's an F for the person who does the polls. All right. So
Let me
what's your
change
C?
mine. Okay, so but for Toy Shirt, so let's talk real quick. Like,
Okay, yeah.
clearly he scored
Let's
a
do it.
goal, so he gets that, and it just shows to me that what we have to say about Lutz this year, about some of his decisions, bringing him and Hartle at the summer transfer window last year, clearly has been really good moves. Toy Shirt is continuing to score, even though he's not one of our forwards, and it seems to be an amazing pickup. Was he wearing the captain's band tonight? I don't remember if I saw it on him
Hartle
or
was, yeah.
Hartle. It was okay. It was Hartle.
100%.
Okay, so it's good to see him out there because he wasn't getting very much playtime at the beginning of the year, and it's good to see him out there. So that was an easy one for me for the B. What about you?
Yeah, so B was the same Toy Shirt. And let me tell you about my C. We've already kind of talked about it in the 3 words, but my C was this kind of change. I would say the 4-4-2 was a big thing, and also putting Ostrak on there. You might say, well, why am I putting this as a C? Well, it's the fact that it took us half a game before we actually did it. You know, we should have started with the 4-4-2, in my opinion. And then Ostrak, I'm assuming that he was taken off because of a time restriction.
That's what I thought
Now,
too.
if this, yeah, it has to be because it would be the dumbest thing. The one thing I did like about Ostrak being out there is, didn't you like seeing Hartle more in the attacking
Oh yeah.
part of the team instead of back? Like, he's a playmaker, and look what happens. This is what happens. You score goals. We needed him out there. So that was my C. Not saying I don't like these changes. I just think they came too late. Even this Ostrak thing probably should have happened. Well, I guess he was hurt, but still, just like the thought process of moving Hartle up forward, and then the 4-4-2 taking half a game before it happened. What was your C?
Okay, so as a teacher, when I'm looking at grading, you know, A is the absolute best. Your grade or your performance was better than everyone else. B, you're right behind. And for me, you get a C. C is the basic, just show up, don't really do any harm, but you're really not. You're just kind of there. You're not. Your work is just average.
So what would you give me?
Oh, my buddy. You know what? You're gonna have to see me after class. How about that? We don't want to discuss grades in front of our friends.
Oof.
Yeah. Listen, it's not great.
Ouch.
It's a hint I'll give you.
Oof.
You know, my
man.
C is actually, it's ironic because the name starts with C. I swear I didn't do this on purpose. And that's Celio. His excitement coming out at the half, it was great. Some of that ball handling, I saw that he took on a defender and looked like he beat him early on. That comment that Klaus is reported to have made about Celio being the only person that could take on 1v1, that was stuck with me. And then these kind of was just there. And I sort of looked at what his overall performance was, and it's like, yikes, he really wasn't great this game. And he was just kind of there. He gave up 12 duels. Like, this is not great. So being out there, he didn't give up a goal. He didn't like cause any pain. He was just kind of a body that was there, that he was like a flash in the pan. So that was my C. What do you have on Celio?
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of jump on the letter grade here. I actually I was debating between D and F for him, and I actually put Morales as a D, and we've kind of talked about this already. He was on a yellow card, and he was doing stupid stuff. Like, if you're yanking somebody from behind as they're going into your attacking third, you're going to get called on a yellow every single time, especially if they fall down or you cause them to fall. It's going to happen. So he got my D. And then Celio was my F. Now, Celio is one of my favorite. I still think he's one of our more talented players. I really do. But the problem is this game, you mentioned he lost 12 duels. Out of the ground duels, he won 2 out of 11. Aerial duels, he lost 0 out of 3. Now, the aerial duels, I can forgive him. That's fine. But the ground duels, 2 out of 11, that's not great. Accurate passes, he was 75%. That's just the average. That would be like a C. Yeah.
Yep.
Successful dribbles, 1 out of 3. And here's the big one. Here's another big one. Dispossessed. Now remember, he didn't even start the game. He had 5 dispossessions.
Oh
That's
my
not
God.
great. That's poor. And then finally, he had that really bad pass. You got to remember, you have like literally a couple minutes left in the game, a minute and a half, something like that. All you do is have to control the ball, play in the corners, kill time. And instead, he made a really boneheaded play that led to the goal. And no, we're not going to blame Yarrow, but in our next section with goal or no goal, we'll kind of talk about Yarrow. But that's why it pains me. Trust me, Steve, it pains me. Like Celio is
Yeah.
like I've been praising him this whole entire time, and then this happens. So I'm sorry, people. I know you guys are gonna hate me for saying this, but he kind of earned it this game.
Yeah.
What about you, Steve? What was your DNF?
It'd be interesting to see what people think because, like, Celio is turning into kind of a polarizing figure. I'm looking at my team posters, and the team put Aziel Jackson front and center on the poster for last year, and that guy is probably one of the most polarizing figures ever because of he's a young man that did his best, but like some people love him, some people hate him, and like I think everyone's wanting Celio to be the best player on our team because of the fact he got hurt and now he's coming back pretty quickly, and like I don't know, man. Like I want him to do well, but if he's gonna keep doing this, he might need to ride the pine for a little bit. I guess it's not. I guess that's a baseball figure. Right? They've got very comfortable chairs. Some of those,
Their seats are
I
amazing.
would rather be out there and sitting on them, other than playing. Those are got the most comfortable benches ever. Do you see those things? They're like office chairs out there.
Just real quick, I mentioned my uncle who's visiting from Virginia back around 2007. I think it was 2007. We went over to Spain, and at that time, I wasn't like big into soccer or anything. And we visited the Real Madrid stadium, and they had the seats there. And I'm like, holy crap! Like these seats are like super comfortable. Like why are they so comfortable? Like baseball players get to sit on like a plank.
Yeah, like aluminum bench.
These guys get like these cushy seats.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I can't even afford chairs like that in my house.
No. That's wild. But like, I would like, coach, I'm not feeling my best today. I'm going to go sit on this nice, I bet they're heated and everything. All right, never mind. So my DNF I'm still going to give a D to Olaf simply because we haven't won. Moral victories aside, I got to go and I got to fill out my schedule chart and it's going to have another D. And that's what this team deserves right now is a D. It's not a W, not an L, it's just a D. So, look at the first half. We had like 1 shot on goal in that first half. Like that is the coach. That's coaching. That is diagrams. That's the system. That's not the players. That's the system. And the system that our head coach is putting out there had 1 shot on goal. Now, there was a change. He listened to his assistant coaches or Lutz came down and shook him or something, threatened to shave him. But like the second half, all of a sudden now we had like 12 shots on goal. We had all these amazing shots. Our expected goal for the first half was 0.03. How did we even get a 0.03 expected goal? And then our expected goal went way up, of course, in the second half. So my D was definitely the coach with the lineups. And my F is for the finishing. You do not sleep on the Golden Boot winner twice in a game, 3 times, and come out of there alive. We slept on him, and he got the goal early. One was amazing and stopped that PK. And then for some reason, the team just fell asleep first minute. And once you saw that ball clear the midway, the half field, you're like, he's going to score. And he did, and Jarl couldn't catch him. Jarl could not catch him. It was almost like watching Marcanic against that smoker from LA Galaxy. Paint Seal. Watching him get smoked. And that was Jarl against Boanga. And then he put it right above our 6'6" wall. It was just finishing for the F is for sure. We walk up. We could have had 3 points, and we could have jumped up to 10th. But because we only got 1 point, we're still in 12th place. We did not move. And that is ludicrous. That's ridiculous. And Houston is now tied with us for 10 points. And then Sporting is behind us with 7. So if they win, we lose against Seattle. we're probably in 14th next week. 14th place.
Well, I'm going to say this. So you had mentioned our expected goals was 0.03 in the first half. Guess what? When we moved to the 4-4-2, it jumped up to 1.39.
Wow.
LAFC was 1.6 and jumped up to 2.12, which is expected because we were a little less defensively stout. But the fact that we jumped up almost 1.5 XG, oof, that's great, man. That's what we need to do. And I'm sorry, like, I just hope we come out next week. And I keep saying this over and over again in the 4-4-2. Hey, Steve, so let's go ahead and go to our final game of the evening, which is goal or no goal. I got the first one for you, and this is going to be fun and controversial because this is all over the place in the post-thread match. Telly231 on Reddit said, I've been saying for 2.5 years that Yaro is not MLS caliber.
Oh my God.
Can we get rid of him now? Can we please get rid of him now? Goal or no goal?
That's out. Oh my God. I'm going to start cussing. I can't.
I stopped you. I always have to edit these out. Okay. Man, it takes me like 20 minutes of all that.
You edit them out? You edit them out? What a donkey. Yeah, I edited that one out. No, what a stupid thing to say. That's just so stupid. That guy, Yaro, saved so many goals, all goal opportunities this game. Yes, he got smoked by the Golden Boot winner. The Golden Boot winner from 2 years ago.
This guy too.
Smoked him. Yes, you are going to get burned by this guy. There's a reason why he's one of the best players. There's a reason why he's still on the media. Come on, stop it. No goal. That's a ridiculous hot take. How dare he? How dare he, sir? All right. What about you? Is that a no goal for you or a goal? You're like, yeah, let's send him to Cincinnati so he can go and score 7 goals against us. Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, that's obviously no goal.
God, man. Oh my God. Okay. How about this one? So one hot take for another. From Discord, Not El Tapito says, Lunt was so-so last season. Okay. But this season we haven't missed Berkey. He is going great. Not done yet. We just have a S-word defense. Doesn't matter who's the goalkeeper. Goal or no goal. How about just that second one? We have a S-word defense.
This is the stupidest post ever. Of course, this is no goal. And I get it. Last year, right, Lunt had a great game. And then he also had that really bad game as well. But guess what? It's hard when you're coming off the bench. It's different when you start to get in a rhythm. Every week you're playing a game. And we've seen it this year. Lunt has really done really well. And Berkey, unfortunately, for Lunt is just way better. Berkey's like amazing. He's one of the top goaltenders in the MLS. I'm sorry. It sucks being a backup to that. Let's be honest. But yes, the second part where it says that we stink defensively, come on. Are you serious?
Right.
Right. How many goals have we given up now? 8 in the season. I still think that's the lowest in MLS.
Yeah, it probably is. And goals per game is the lowest. Like we were discussing before the match. I heard that we were top 2 or 3 in the league for defense, but bottom 2 or 3 in the league for offense. And that really checks out. But this guy thinks we have a crappy defense. Unbelievable.
Okay, so I'm just going to piggyback because there's a lot of Yaro hate going on. So Terrible TK on Reddit said that, I know, I don't get it. So this guy said that, or girl, said Yaro was stride for stride with one of the fastest, if not the fastest striker in the league. And the 96th minute of an intense game after playing the full time, and you're blaming him for getting beat, even though guarding him and 2 other CBs were supposed to be set. And not to mention his beautiful shot. That's not on completely Yaro if you don't know ball, if you think it was.
That's a goal. Yeah. You can't pin that on one guy. Like that ball shouldn't have been able to clear. That's ridiculous. Yeah. That's a ridiculous thing. I mean, to think that it's on Yaro. I get we need a whipping boy, but like he ain't it. How about Giannis Horn giving up that pass to Bouanga on the goal line instead of stepping up and taking it off his chest or something? If Horn would have stepped up, we would have won this game 2-1. But Horn didn't. Horn let that ball go right to Bouanga, who got Hebert was left hung out to dry because Watts was hurt and Bouanga scored a banger. Like, it's just, people just don't watch the entire games. They don't watch the entire games.
Can I tell you a pet peeve?
Yeah.
So that person I just mentioned had basically said that you don't know ball if you think it was. And then somebody else, Pro Scion 27 on Reddit said, anyone blaming Yarrow for that goal has no ball knowledge. I hate when people, especially on Facebook, they start using, well, what do you know? You didn't play soccer or football. And like these guys probably were like on the JV team as riding the bench or something. I hate when people gatekeep like that.
They're gatekeeping.
I hate
That's
to say
what I was going to say.
Some of the best analysts in whether it's soccer, American football, baseball, literally have never played the game before. I mean, would you say to Jack Buck, well, you weren't a professional baseball player?
Yep.
Exactly. Like, come on. No, I'm not saying we're Jack Buck or something, or people on Reddit are Jack Buck, but still, like, the gatekeep like that, I hate it. It's very arrogant.
Right. All right. After we scored that first goal, and by the way, before we scored that goal, we had played LAFC 5 times, and we were down 6 goals to no goals. We had not scored on LAFC. So we scored on LAFC, and on Discord, Trademark says, in all caps, hang the banner. And then someone else says, Moondog 548 says, what the WTF? We play them 6 times a year, but that's our first goal. And then another guy at Bat Meltler says, we're winning the league, boys. So I guess my goal or no goal would be, it's okay to be excited after that goal.
I'm going to say also, I'm going to give them a goal for their obvious sarcasm. Obviously, they're just like, hey, at least we did something. So I think their true intent, obviously some people are just like, it's just going right over their head. And they're like, well, these guys really think that we're going to win the league. No, their sarcasm, I give them a goal, obviously.
Yep.
Let's have fun with it.
Yeah.
All right, Alexander 221788 on Reddit said, Lunt had the player of the match robbed from him.
What? Okay. I'm going to say that's a no goal. Only because that was an amazing shot. That was an amazing whole sequence for LAFC to go down and score. From clearing the ball after some shots to that beautiful pass that only Bouanga could have gotten to Bouanga putting it directly behind the pipe and it ball coming back out. Like, that entire thing was amazing. Bouanga earned it. We gave that up. So no, it wasn't robbed. It wasn't robbed from it. If Bouanga, I think I mentioned this before we started recording. If Bouanga doesn't score, 100% Lunt is the man of the match. But when you get a brace and you get it the way he did, you almost scored 3. No, he deserves to be the man of the match. I'm man enough to be able to say that was an earned thing. And he never gave up. 91 minutes into the game and you were still sprinting like that? Nah, man, I don't buy that. What about you?
I was trying to rage bait here, but geez, that's like so logical and full of reason. I don't know how I could argue with that. Fine, you win. No goal. Jeez.
Well, okay. If you wanted to rage bait, what would you have said? Because, like, how can you justify it being stolen from him? It's not that they gave it to Baumgartel.
Okay, how about this? Celio's bad pass backwards robbed Lunt of the player of the match.
Well, if that's the case, then we have to drop Celio down to a T for me. I would have to go back and look at it to see if that was definitely the case. But let's go ahead and say goal, just because I like to play around a little bit. Okay, I got one last one on Discord. A person says play has not stopped at the half. What the heck? Like, obviously we're still showing up in the second half. So goal or no goal, the team is actually trying to play a complete game.
That's true, because I used the analogy, I think it was 2 episodes ago, of a used tire where you start out rolling really well and then kind of get flat as you go along. I agree, actually. That's a good point. We didn't seem to fall completely flat in the 90th minute as we've been doing previously. So yeah, I'll give him a goal.
Okay. That's
right,
pretty much, I think that's... Oh, go ahead, yeah.
One last optimistic one for you, and I'm just going to take the last line of this. So Majestic Fox 5569 on Reddit basically said, I think we will definitely start getting results pretty soon. Goal or no goal?
I'm going to say no goal. Only because
Ooh,
that is
spicy.
a fool's optimism. That is Charlie Brown always coming up to kick the ball because it's got to get better soon. So no, until we are writing views, until, as Mike Shannon would say, that's a big red W for the Wheezy. And before we see a W, I refuse to say there's going to be any change. We have 7 games in a row without a win. So no, I'm not. No, sorry, that ain't me, Cat. What about you?
I'm going to say, if I make the assumption, because I really think Olaf has to go with a 4-4-2 next game. If he doesn't, this guy should be fired. If he goes with the 4-4-2, then yes, I think we're going to start to see some results. I'm not saying we're a first place team, but I would at least say a mid-tier team results as opposed to what would you say, 12th place team?
Yeah.
So I would say as long as he does what it should be obvious at this point, then yeah, I'm going to say goal. If he comes out with the 3-back system, then I don't know. Maybe we should turn this podcast into, like, I don't know, movie reviews or something, because this is going to be a really miserable and long season. I don't think he's going to do that. I really think we're going to see 4 in the back, but we'll see.
I saw a show like that in Mexico called 4 in the Back, and it was definitely not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. So you want to take us out?
All right. So this was a game. Of all the games, this was one of them. But we still have time to be excited. So let's parch let's get our little lips there kind of moist there, and let's kind of get our little guys here ready to pump and take a deep breath and go, all for City, baby.